Hi everyone, my name's Michelle and I'm Mama Loves GB here on FlossTube, but also over on Instagram and Etsy as well. Welcome to the Sunday morning briefing. It is the 27th of November and this is briefing number 98. So I'm not going to get to briefing number 100 before Christmas, or in fact this year. So as of Wednesday, the 1st of December, we're starting Flossmas, and that's a different kind of series, so I don't include that in my numbering system. So yeah, episode number 100 is going to be into the new year. So we'll have to see what we can think up for that. Welcome along. I did think that this episode should be subtitled "What's Wrong with Michelle Now?" Oh. just to let you know, in case you see the sort of fleeting wince of pain on my face, that little cough I had resulted in a torn intercostal muscle. So this week has been incredibly painful. Every time I've coughed, it's just been really super painful. I ended up having another day off work on Thursday just because it was so painful. I was determined I was going to go in, and Chris actually had to sit me down and say, "You can't go in, you can't even put any clothes on." And so I phoned the doctors and I managed to they prescribed me some heavy duty painkillers over the phone, some cocodamol, and interestingly I found out my limit of cocodamol today. I was sorry, I try not to cough really hard now. We went into our local sort of bigger town because we had to get a few bits and pieces for the kitchen still, and we decided to get a pizza for lunch. So we were sat having pizza and it was time to have a next lot of tablets. And so then we walked through town to this sort of other shop at the other end of town, and on the way back I was swimming. I was totally swimming. Chris was like, "Can you walk in a straight line?" I'm like, nope, I can't. So yeah, I think I'm gonna have to reduce my consumption of those. I'm not taking more than I should, but I think I'm gonna have to reduce the consumption of those, even though they're not really doing what they should. But anyway, I'm gonna do the freebie straight away because this one is time limited, in case you want to go and grab it as soon as. We'll see how reaching for things is going to go today. It's this one. It's called Santa's Miracle and it's by Twin Peak Primitives. And if you know anything about their freebies, very often their freebies are only free for a couple of days. You have to go and grab them while they're free, and then they're not free anymore. So this one I think is sorry, is free till the 27th, which is tomorrow. So if you're watching this tomorrow and you're quick, you should be able to go and grab this as a freebie if you haven't already seen it. But it's great. I like the way you've got Father Christmas and then the reindeer, and then you can't see it too well here, but this is like a little village scene in the middle there. So I think that's really cool. The other thing I just wanted to mention very quickly is I do have a Black Friday sale on in my Etsy shop at the moment. There is 15% off all my charts, and that is through till Wednesday, I think. I just did it all the way through to Wednesday because Wednesday's the 1st, and for us we don't get paid until, well, we get paid on the last working day of the month. No, Wednesday must be the 30th. We get paid on the last working day of the month, provided it's a Wednesday, Thursday or a Friday. So we don't get paid till the following Wednesday. So I thought for all of those people who might be in the same boat, technically Black Friday's this weekend, but some people might not get paid until the start of next week. So I've just done it all the way through till Wednesday. So hopefully everyone can grab what they want. I've done a little bit of stitching this week. I have managed to stitch, sort of propped up with various different pillows and things like that. So I'm going to show you. Show you what I've got. The other thing that I've had in comments from my previous video is a lot of comments about the various different bits of stitching that are now behind me. So what I'll do, really sorry, what I'll do is once I've finished showing you my stitching and my little bit of stitchy kindness, I will grab the bits and pieces and I will show you properly what they are. Okay, right, so what have I been stitching? I have finished my secret stitch, which I will be able to show you in about 10 days time, I think. Other than that, I worked on this one, Phantom 2 seconds. Try again. Other than that, I worked on Phantom Plantation by Glendon Place. Having said that I didn't get very much done, I kind of got into it this time. And let me show you. I've added a wing. I've added a whole new wing to my building. So, oh, and that fabric's looking great as well. I've added this kind of wing on there, and I've brought the horse across so you can just see the skeletal horse, and I've finished the ghoul and put most of his buggy in, his horse cart in, and I've sort of got the tree started here. So a bit too blown out there, and I can't really lift my arm for that long. Hang on, let's try again. It's amazing how many movements involve an intercostal muscle. Thankfully it's not sore when I'm breathing, just normal breathing, it's just movement based. So I popped that in, which I'm really enjoying working on that, really enjoying working on it. I think, is it the first one I've done, a first Glendon Place? I think it is, I think it's my first Glendon Place. Loving it. Okay, I also then worked a little bit, I had a bit of a blue flower week. I did some work on the Magpie and the Moon by the Blue Flower, and that's where I am. I put in the white and a bit more of this tail here. I was going to carry on with the branch work, but I have very cunningly used a brown that I've not put back in my bag. So what I've got to try and do is think about what else I was stitching on at the same time that I put that brown in. And I was at the retreat, I was at the Stitch London retreat, so I'm going to have a look through all the other things that I took to Stitch London and see what that brown matches. I think it's maple sugar or maple syrup, whichever it is. I think it's one of those two, but I shall dig that out. So I just did a little bit on that. I had a new start as well, not anything groundbreaking, but I did have a new start. So I have been working on these, the Red Work Pairs by Annie Bees, and I'm using some 36 count Desert Taipan by Fox and Rabbit that I had as a fabric of the month. Now, Desert Taipan is one of my favourite fabrics that I've had from them, and I messaged Karen and Bren the other day actually to ask whether it was something that was going to become part of their line, because it's the perfect colour for one of my Scottish samplers, and they said it is. It's going to become part of their line that they're releasing in Nashville. So there's that, and then this is the thread that I'm using. It is Sulky number, there we go, 1035, the 12 weight. And as I've said to you so many times before, I love Sulky on 36 count. I think it's just the perfect combination of one strand and the coverage that you get. So I'd already stitched the alphabet one. Let's try and get the fabric as the right colour. There we go. A brilliant neutral. So I'd already stitched that one, and the one that I'm stitching now, you can see, is this one here. So I've put in the top of that pair, and that was just like one stitching session, so I got quite a bit done on that. And then the thing that I worked most on, I just picked up on a whim, and I don't think I've brought, oh have I? Oh yeah, I have. Here it is. Now this was released a couple of years ago. Has it got a date on it? 2020. So this was released a couple of years ago and it was my absolute favourite release from that year. And I never really got on and stitched it very much. But I was hoping that it was going to be done for this FlossTube, but I'm not quite there yet. So I finished the branches of the tree. I've got a little bit more fill in to do there. I finished the woman. I've put in this pumpkin and this dog, almost, and some more of the words. So all I've got left to do now are the leaves on the tree and the moon with the bird in it. And then that will be done. And this is on a piece of 38 count that I dyed myself. And I wish I had another 3 meters of this stuff, because it's amazing. I love it. Absolutely loving it. It's just cool for using the Cool 4 DMC. And I've got a frame that it will fit as well, because I want to frame this. It's bigger than you think it is, actually. It's much bigger. It is 183 by 120. So it's not a pillow small. And we can make it into a pillow if you want, but it's not like a dough ball small. But the thing I love is all of these creatures are just amazing. And the only thing I've got left to do actually is to match the white, because again, for some reason, the white I used is not in there. So it's either blank or blanc or 3865, I should think. But I shall fudge it, no doubt. But I'm loving that. I'm really hoping to get that finished very soon, because that would knock another whip off. Another whip off my list. Right, what else have I got? A little bit of stitchy kindness. Chrissy is finally a farm girl, and she has been doing amazing designs. And just in my inbox this week, just had a little thing that said a little gift, and she sent me "Home is Christmas," and it says home is where you hang your hat and park your sleigh. So there we go. So I'll put all the details down for her, and you can go down and download yourself a copy of this one. And she's got loads and loads of other beautiful designs, so have a look. I really like Mr. and Mrs. Santa there. I'd be very tempted just to do those and make them into a little small, but I love it. It is 131 by 91. So that would be a small. Right, I'm gonna just pause a second, because I'm pretty sure I can't spin round, but I'm going to gather up my little bits of smalls that you can see, and then I'm going to show you them so that you know in the background in the future what is there. So there we are. I've grabbed them. Now that I've grabbed them, I was confident before and I'm not so confident now. I'm going to start with one that I'm least confident about, because I will have to put underneath who it's by. So this is one of these beautiful sleighs that you can get, and I think it's just come into my head actually. Foxwood Crossings make the sleighs, and several people design toppers for them, but I think this is a Foxwood Crossing one as well. So you stitch it on perforated paper, and then you just literally cut round it and mount it onto the sleigh, and they look amazing. I think this is called something like the North Star Santa, because there is a star at the top there, and this is the large sleigh. So normally when you buy one of the patterns, you get a couple of different versions of the chart. So this is the full large version. I think the one for the medium sleigh sort of just covers up to there. And then, let's try that again. There we go, without turning around. And then they do the smaller sleighs as well, but these have separate patterns for them, because you can't really trim them. So these are two smaller ones. Little kind of farm barn buildings, and they're really sweet. Same idea, you stitch them onto perforated paper and then you just cut them out and mount them on the top. I know that the Nimble Thimble has had the sleighs in the past. I'm pretty sure she's still got them. Whether they're on her website or not, I don't know, but if you just give her a call, give Chris a call, then she'll tell you whether she's got them in stock or not. So there's those. Put that one back in there. Now I don't know if you could see this one or not, but I've just grabbed it anyway. This is the Prairie Schooler, one of the yearly Santas. This is North Wind, where he's impaled this rabbit on his staff, which looks quite painful to me. I had to, every fibre of my being, to stop me putting like blood coming out of this poor rabbit. Obviously he's walking into the wind and the rabbits are clinging onto it, but it just looks like he's impaled it to me. So I just finished that one into a flat with some gingham. And I just want to see the difference it makes when you use the gingham kind of on point, so you put it diagonally. It's so much easier to mount your work than trying to get the gingham in straight squares. It's so much easier to do it diagonally, and it just looks as nice, I think, if not nicer. So there's that one, and that one's just sat up there. Okay. The other one of the other ones that you could see was this little bag. This is a Prairie Schooler Santa as well. Well, not a Santa, but it's I think it's one of the yearly limited edition ones. If I can find the name of it, I'll put it underneath. And I just finished that into a little drawstring bag. It's stitched on I want to say 32 count, and I think is it Whisper Grey? I think. Something like that. Or it could be a very pale blue. I'm not sure. But Whisper Grey I'm going to go for. This one is Christmas Eve by the Sub Rosa. I think it's called Christmas Eve. And I stitched this one, actually, unusually for me, on Ada. It's 22 count Ada, I think. And I had it originally between two spools, and I decided that I really didn't like the finish. I like the finishing idea, I just hadn't executed it very well. So I just turned it into a pillow, and it's stuffed with walnut shells. So it's a weapon now, pretty much a weapon. So anybody plays up at Christmas, they'll have this launched at them. That can have to stay there, I can't put in now for that one. This one is, you might have been able to see, just dangling down. This is Santa's Workshop, and I'll have to put along the bottom who designed the chart, but I know it is in Punch, Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine, one of the earliest ones. I want to say like a 2016 Christmas one, and I stitched it on Vintage Country Mocha, 32 count I would imagine, and then I used a couple of Puntini buttons and an old key. So it's the key to Santa's Workshop. It's just got a little bit of polka dot on the back. I'll have to look up, as I said, who's done that chart, but I've never seen that chart anywhere else. I've never seen that one released. So there we go. Right, this one. Oops. Let's just put this in there. Oh, it's coming apart. There we go. Just fettle it a little. So this is by Pinker and Punkin Blogspot, and it was a freebie that I kind of changed a little bit. So it's one of those Santa mugs on a cake plate, and it's got this border and some snowflakes on it, and the whole design is designed flat, so it would just be the face with the border and you could stitch it flat. I decided to stitch mine in two parts, so I stitched the face and the bottom of the border, and then I stitched the top border on a different one, and I made it into a pocket. So it's got a few little candy canes in it and a little bit of fake greenery. And then the last two that were there, one is this one, which came from a Punch, Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. There's a set of 4 of them, and there was one in each of the 4 issues. So there was like a spring one, a summer one, an autumn and winter. So the spring one was a rabbit, the summer one was fish, the autumn one was 2 really cool owls, and then this is the winter one. It's by Heart in Hand, and you can buy the charts now as a set of 4. So I just finished mine again with some polka dot. I made some braid, and then a couple of rusty bells. Now the braid I made from the dupe thread for DMC. I bought online some, I don't know if it was CXC brand or whether it was another brand, but basically a brand that dupe DMC. And I wouldn't use it for actual stitching, but I also won't make cord with DMC because it's so expensive. So I use it for making cord with. And then the last one is the one that I've had most comments about, and it's this one, Meet Me Under the Mistletoe, with a little ribbon and a vintage button, and it's got polka dots on the back and a little bubble pin, not a bubble pin. So these pins, the ones that are the funny shapes, they're either called gourd pins, G-O-U-R-D, gourd as in pumpkin, or bulb pins. So if you're looking to buy some of those and you're putting in safety pin and not getting the shaped ones, try bulb pin or gourd pin. And this is by Spooky and Steve on Etsy. They've got some great things on there as well. Really, really good Christmassy and Halloweeny charts. So yeah, this is Meet Me Under the Mistletoe by Spooky and Steve. And that is about it. So we are going to be seeing one another sooner rather than later on the 1st of December, because right there, I cannot wait to get into it. And I've got my Marks and Spencer's Advent calendar as well, which I am hoping is going to be everything I need to rejuvenate in time for Christmas. And if you can just see, I've got my paper Advent calendar as well. Last thing, if you're looking for any Christmas presents, do have a little look if there's a stitcher in your life or a from me to me present, which always seems to be the best ones. Do have a look on my T-mail store, and I've got a few different designs there. I did a competition last week, so if anybody wants to enter for that, you'll have to go back to the previous video, but I am going to do the results of that on the 1st of December. And I've still got my competition entries to sort out from last week's winners. So if you were waiting for something from me, I will get I will get there, but I've just been a little bit things have been more difficult this week, but we'll get there. I shall see you on the 1st of December. Stay classy, stitchers.